June 3rd, 2024, community meeting to order at 6:30. Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Newhouse.
Here.
Alderman Anderson.
Here.
Alderman Newman.
Here.
Alderman Griner. Alderman Jose.
Here.
Alderman Bev.
Here.
Also present, Treasurer Warrant, Deputy Clerk Vogel, Street Superintendent Smith, Police Chief Merritt, Fire Chief Hermaninsky, Building Inspector Dearborn. Under my report, Department of Innovation and Technology reached out, and we have an opportunity to have a cybersecurity evaluation done for free. It's a grant that's through the state of Illinois. They would actually come in here and do a cybersecurity overhaul and see where we're lacking, where we need to improve. Is this something we want to do?
Why not?
Free of charge, right?
Yeah.
Do it.
Yep.
Let's see what the cyber crap.
Yeah, that's
We don't want
kind of how I figured. So
Some over there.
I'll reach back out to him, and then I'll get the information over to you, Tim.
Will that interfere with the service that is doing our communications in our computer and everything now?
No, it won't affect our day-to-day activities or anything.
Okay, I'm just questioning to make sure that they were aware of it too, so that.
Yeah, I mean, they will call and talk to us, and then they will come here. They'll be here for says 2 to 3 hours, depending on how well our IT network is. So maybe longer. So I'll reach out to him and I'll get the information to you. I emailed everyone the information on doing the abandoned properties. Everybody had a chance to take a look at it, I'm assuming.
Didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
It's been about a month. A month ago?
Oh,
Oh, maybe that.
okay.
Gotta resend it.
Oh, no.
I can resend it to everybody, that's not a problem. But
I remember that.
Miller Hall and Triggs helped East Peoria develop theirs,
Right. Remember that now.
so they could potentially help us with ours. I mean, unfortunately, anytime we do an abandoned property, I mean, it's gonna cost the city. And I don't know if we'll recoup any of that money, so it's.
April 11th. April 11th is when. it
April
was-
11th?
Oh,
It's probably in there somewhere.
back then, yeah. I thought you knew about a new one.
2
Yeah.
months ago.
So, something we want to pursue further, or do we?
Well, I'll have to take a look at it. I'm not up to speed on it, so.
Well, either way, we're gonna have costs on the abandoned houses, whether we're dealing with the rodent issues, the grass issues, the PD dealing with people trying to break in possibly to abandoned homes, or if they're not being boarded up or whatever else. So we're gonna have costs tied into something. The other thing is when they sit there abandoned, how much are they bringing the neighborhood down in cost? I mean, it's not only costing us dealing with the property, but it's costing us the property values on the surrounding homes. So.
Squatters, keep the squatters out.
He's wondering what's in there.
We have several properties that would benefit us.
What does it cost to put a lien on?
Not much, but you never get paid for it, is the
Yeah.
problem.
Oh, really?
Unless they sell it.
Unless they sell the property, but if it goes sheriff's sale, they void the liens and everything else, so you don't get anything out of it. You may have serviced the property for 10 years with mowing and cleanup and all that, and we don't get anything.
Really?
Yep.
Even if we destroy the house or we never.
You can sell the
paid on
property,
that.
that's what Peoria does.
Yeah.
They have a process on how they take properties, demolish them, and then.
And then we can build
resell
in
the
that
property.
price to recoup our money, yes.
And that's really probably the most logical way to do it.
But you gotta have an ordinance that allows you to do that. Again, it's gonna cost one way or another. It's gonna cost you to deal with the vacant property, or it's gonna cost you to not, and then deal with having the vacant property.
Right now, we have nothing, so I think we need to explore it more.
Okay, I'll read it.
And,
How many are there?
hmm?
How many are there?
Abandoned.
Abandoned properties. Chief, what would you say?
I don't know if they're abandoned, they're just not being lived in. One I know for a fact's been abandoned for over 7 years. The individual passed away, no family. We've been maintaining the yard just to keep the grass down. And there's probably about 7 other ones that the family members no longer living in.
So,
I can think of 4.
no more than 10, but,
I can think of 4.
Easy.
yeah.
Got one across the street from me.
So, all right.
But with that, they're maintaining
Go
the
from
yard
there.
as far as that goes. And the
More
rest
into
of it,
it.
you know, you don't know the inside and stuff.
Okay. You have anything?
Job positions for the street superintendent, street foreman, water sewer operator, and street maintenance were posted today on Indeed. So looking at getting those filled.
Good. Anything else? Mr. Director?
There was a need, I don't know if everyone got the email from Heather about the cost for the limb pickup, the $2 per capita for tree service. That's pulled out of the street department's budget just in general. And I don't know what line item that's been pulled from. Maria's gonna be in tomorrow and bring Tim up to speed on that. And we'll create a line item to cover that. So it's not just being pulled out of the streets budget randomly. So we
But
should.
tracking.
Yeah. So we should have that,
Would-
hopefully before next meeting.
Would, when we contract out stump grinding and all that, that would qualify and classify under that same Arbor Day?
I would think so.
I would, yeah, I
Tree
would think
City.
so.
And,
I just
and
don't know where
our
this
tree
was pulled.
removal and our labor and stuff like that, all should be involved.
Yeah.
Sure.
I just don't know where this was being pulled from.
Yeah, where it's budgeted for, if it was.
Yeah, but Maria will know, so she'll let Tim know where that's being pulled from. We'll create a line item to cover it.
Okay, good. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Mr. Inspector?
Just information, there's gonna be a zoning board hearing on Thursday at 6 o'clock to consider the variances for 207 Rogers, which is the fence and the pool. So that will be coming to you after they hear it for your consideration, no matter which way they do it.
307, correct?
307, you are correct.
307 Rogers?
Yes, 307 Rogers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
What's standing committees, water and sewer?
So last 2 meetings ago, I brought up thought on doing a infrastructure cost to non-residents beyond city limits. 9-6-16 rates and charges. Letter D, outside of city limits, all users of city water service outside of the city limits shall pay 200% of the above rates, depending on which classification is applicable to each user, except senior citizen rates, which only apply to those residing within city limits. So that essentially covers our costs to produce water, get water to them, the additional treatment that gets added out at Briarwood to provide service there. My question is, do we want to add possibly a $2.50 a month infrastructure fee to non-residents to basically cover any of our expenses from city limits on out, the 1.5 to 2 miles worth of infrastructure that we have that way that don't pay property taxes to our community? I wasn't thinking a large thing, but the other question I have for the office is, under billing, can we have a separate line on for a non-resident utility fee? $2.50 a month, so we can cover the offsetting cost of that infrastructure that direction.
How many people are served outside?
We're like 24.
Yeah, there's not.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you got Briarwood at 16 or 18, and then you
And
got a
now
few of
on
the
top,
farmhouses.
Yeah, there's.
There's only like 24, 25 houses outside that
So
we
we
take it. So
wouldn't
we're not talking
need
big numbers, but we're at least talking, they're gonna pay some infrastructure that way
Like we do.
versus,
Like we do.
like, yeah, well, we pay it too, but we're providing 2 miles worth of service for 24 houses. That's,
Yeah, I mean, you still have problems with valves and that whole lift, that
So-
whole pump station out there.
my thought was somewhere between $2.50 and $5 a month would be, I think, enough. Have a separate savings. It's for
Infrastructure.
any infrastructure repairs done that way.
When was the last time we ever raised any rates on?
We raise rates every year as our annual raise.
As ours go up,
But
theirs
theirs
went up.
goes up too,
Okay.
but we're not offsetting the infrastructure fees that only supply 25 homes.
So what number are we,
Does anybody have input on this? I wanted to bring it up to committee, so that way we can talk about it, so we can add it right to that as an infrastructure fee. For non-residents, we'll just add it to D. But we need something because
Do we
a
need to-
$10,000 valve that gets put out there to service
Right.
24 homes versus a $10,000 valve that gets put into town to service 200 homes.
Sure.
The cost per unit is substantial.
Right.
what's your thoughts, Dave?
It needs to be done, I'd say about $5.
That's it? Bob?
Yeah, we need to do something. I'm not sure exactly what.
You got a dollar amount?
Yeah, I'm willing to go 5. That'd only give us.
Not talking a lot, but it's gonna
Yeah.
help offset the service fees for the generator out there and all of the service stuff for that.
You know, we need to generate, because it's gonna be a big cost out there sooner or later. I mean, already have been, but.
Ron?
Yeah, $5.
I,
Okay, I'm good with that, so I'll get something added to this and then we can get it.
Do we need to
To add to the list?
send a letter to them and tell them what's going on?
We can if we want to be cordial. Most utility suppliers you purchase utilities from,
They
don't
just
send
have
you a
to
letter,
say.
they just raise in prices, so.
They don't really have a choice? I mean,
And this-
Comcast doesn't give you a choice whether they raise their prices, Ameren doesn't.
It's either being on their well system or on our infrastructure, and there's
Yes.
two
Right.
options.
And this would go in effective,
Once we get an ordinance passed and everything in place, so whenever we can get through the process.
60 days, 30 days?
Whenever we can get through the process.
Right.
okay. What else you got?
Tim, you got anything else for water?
Everything is going pretty good right now.
We didn't say anything. And we're good.
Good. Law enforcement.
In line with talking about the abandoned properties, problem properties, we have one, was cited on the 23rd of last year. Went through the court system, they were found in default, on the 10th of May. And they were ordered to clean everything up by the 24th of May, or the city has the right to enter the property and remove all of the inoperable vehicles, garbage, rubbish, that. I know I talked about it, I think it was the last committee meeting, as to the cities, if they're willing to put in the cost to have that done. Dumpsters, I checked prices on dumpsters, 20-yard dumpsters run about $500. You get about 3 ton worth of load in the 20-yard dumpster. Anything over that, you have an added cost. You're gonna have manpower to get everything picked up. You're gonna have tow trucks to tow vehicles. There's 3 on the property. You're looking probably in the area, just roughly to say, you're looking at probably $2,000 in cost to the city, and that's on the very low side, until you really see what, the last time I was there, I thought it would probably be 2 dumpsters, but the last time I was there, maybe 1. But 3 vehicles to remove. That's gonna ballpark $2,000 to $3,000. We have probably $2,000 to $3,000 in legal fees already to get the default order. So that's what I pose to you. If we're wanting to do that, I was also advised by the attorney is that we get a administrative warrant. We don't necessarily need that, but it just adds to the weight of the judgment already. It shouldn't be an issue to get with the judgment being already there.
What's your thought on it?
It's been a problem property for quite some time. And it just
Now
kind
we're
of goes
having
back and
residents.
forth and back and forth, and now we're.
As
just-
residents around the area complaining about it.
What's the address?
I don't know if I can actually say that in open meeting, but it's here in town.
Okay.
We've already got 3 invested in legal. I mean, it's if we're going to
Continue this.
follow the legal process, we might as well follow the process
finish it up.
to get the property clean.
So is everybody in?
The other
agreement?
question is I know there are companies that come in and dump, clean out. do
Yeah,
clean out
it would
stuff.
be a matter of trying to find one of those to come in to do that.
That may be another option with us being shorter staffed in streets. Maybe another option versus our manpower.
It's one of those that I thought that after the 24th, you might see some movement, or before that,
Nothing.
nothing. Actually, I had to go there on a couple calls because they're bringing more stuff.
So, do we wanna do some research and see about a company?
I can try and see if I can find the companies that would come in and do that, yeah.
I know the company that will do all 3. We'll take the car, tow the cars, clean out the house.
It's not cleaning out now, we can't go in the inside
No,
the
like
property, it's everything outside the
Everything on the
property.
outside, yeah, and it has dumpsters, yeah.
Okay, if you can get with
Because
Chief,
I think Dreamscapes and
That's
he
what I'm
can-
thinking,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's Mitch from
Oh.
Landscaping.
do they do that?
He's
Yeah,
got tow
he does
truck and
all.
dumpsters.
Yeah.
That's who I was thinking.
And they
'Cause I know
actually
they
clean
do
up
clean
the
outs for
property.
banks.
Yeah, he goes in.
So council is good with proceeding?
Worth at least getting a price and an email back that, hey, this is
Yeah,
what.
I mean, that's what I've gotten is, you're looking at 500 a dumpster plus man hours to load it and get it out of there.
How long will it take us to get the warrant?
That would be probably a matter of getting it written up and to the judge.
Okay.
Do we wanna proceed and go ahead and approve something like that, or do we
You
wanna?
can at least get a price and then email back.
All right, if we can get emails so we can move on this thing and not have it last another month.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks, Chief.
Mhm.
Anything else?
I think, somebody might be here to talk about it, but, consideration of the fireworks display and the bridge project.
Yep.
I was thinking this morning, I don't know that the bridge project is gonna cause an issue for folks coming into town, but it's afterwards. LaSalle is generally, we try and send everybody down LaSalle or out Lincoln, both directions. I can see with the light at Cavalier, when it goes in its time for the red light section, we could possibly have traffic backed up clear up to DJ with the amount of cars that come through. Thought I'd come up with this morning was shut down LaSalle, basically coming into town off of 29 and shut the light down on the westbound side so the traffic going out on LaSalle would be able to flow freely. So they get to the light, they get out, they're not sitting there for a minute and a half waiting for the light to change and the intersection to clear. It's just a thought right now at this time. We'll try to meet with the bridge superintendent down there tomorrow morning and see if we can see where they're at in their project, when they're gonna start it on the other side, to see if it's feasible that they get the westbound side done and usable before somewhere around the 29th, if it's possible to just open it both sides for free flow for that day basically. But I don't know where they're at in their process as far as, looked like they were forming for curbs and stuff down there on the new side. But where they're gonna be at that time, it'd be a few weeks, they could possibly be on the other side and tore out. So it seems to be moving along pretty good.
So we'll have some more information to come.
Yeah, so hopefully, come, the next meeting, we'll have a little more information on that.
Wonderful.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Anything else? Anything else for law enforcement?
No.
Fire.
We get Chris?
There'll be a bill for CIT on the next agenda for $1,007 and some change. I don't remember the exact amount. That was for the transmission flush and refill. That's all I got.
Okay.
That's all.
That's it. Okay. Street.
Tim has a call into Boulder Design for a price on the entrance sign, so more to come on that. Still waiting on a bid from ICCI on the storm drain at 201 Lincoln. Street Department had an accident with the backhoe. Martin Equipment gave Tim a bid today of $2,887.20 to get that fixed. Wednesday last week, I called Fisher Tree Service about getting a price on taking those trees out of the ravine at Ron Babb's. They were supposed to go over there Saturday and then send an estimate. Ron and I walked from the school to Glenn Ogle's house on Friday and to identify problems with the sidewalk. I turned in a work order for several sections that Glenn would like torn out at this time. There are a few sections that need replaced, several that need ground down, and some that just need weeding and cleaned up for Margot. That's all I have.
Did you incorporate any type of sidewalk for handicap at Hennepin on LaSalle? Because there is no handicap
At the corner.
access to Hennepin.
Like go around the corner?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Corner of Hennepin and LaSalle.
and LaSalle, there is no,
We didn't go that far. We
Oh.
stopped- We stopped it.
No,
Oh,
we
yeah,
went
we
that
did.
far.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We passed that. Oh, okay.
I thought it had one.
There's also no
No.
handicap access at Hennepin and Radisson.
right, and there is no handicap
What-
access.
Hennepin and Radisson.
You're right.
We look and see what that'll take, Tim.
Okay. So with these concrete projects, are we looking at dealing with these in-house? I know currently Pekin's using Merck. I know in the past we've used other vendors. What's the game plan?
Lisa.
Glenn's gonna do his house and his mother's house. He's doing that part of it.
Okay.
He wants to do all that in one,
One swoop.
and then he'll have another section up at his house.
Okay, but you just brought up two handicap accessibility things.
Right.
What's the plan?
We don't have, we just brought it up. I don't know.
I mean,
You know, not something we're necessarily equipped to handle in-house. So are we finding a vendor? Are we, what's,
I think we have to get some bids on it. Yep. You can't do it now, so yeah.
Well, also, are we gonna wait till the ADA comes in and tells, if we do all this stuff and then it all has to be ripped back out?
it should be put in compliance anyways.
Yeah.
right,
So the contractor is gonna have to put it in compliant.
right, if it doesn't come in compliant, then they're liable for it.
Well, some of them, they look like they could just be ground down.
No, he's talking
instead
about
of-
it.
No, I'm talking about the approaches,
The-
the approaches at the
Approaches.
intersections.
Which we didn't look at.
The curbing going into the street, right at the curb.
Right.
For
Right.
LaSalle and
They just
Hennepin.
go around the corner. There's no access to the road there.
Right. Get a hold of, start getting some bids.
Good.
Cause Merck's doing all of Pekin's sidewalk work right now, out of Wyoming, Illinois.
Yeah, they're doing a bunch of them down Parkway right now.
Yep.
And they're all handicap access
That's
to.
what they're doing. I know ICCI's done them, and they may, Jason, you may be able to answer that. Are you guys doing Springfield Road right now?
Springfield Road, I'm not sure, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
We could be. I've been living in the hood of Peoria, so.
But I know they've done a lot of concrete work and,
Well, we called them twice to come out for different things, and they don't show up and they don't call back. So,
Right,
there's
sounds
that
about
too.
right.
it's construction season, that's
Yeah.
what you're gonna run into everywhere.
And if I'm correct, we have a little grinder, sidewalk or curb grinder of our own.
To deal with the little.
To deal with a small area.
Yeah, just a small area, not no big.
Yeah, yeah. So we could maybe work on the sidewalks themselves.
Right.
And get those to where they're
Right.
within compliance.
Right.
So who can start working on getting some bids, Tim?
Okay.
Thanks. Anything else for streets?
Oh.
Parks and buildings.
Ryan from Copperfield is supposed to be getting me a bid for the light for the trail.
Okay.
Waiting on that.
I think you finished the flag one, right?
Yes, now we can get a flag and rope and put on there.
Great.
Okay. Anything else?
No, not at this time.
Me, 306 Lincoln. Jason.
Yeah, you want me to step up here?
Sure.
Right. All right. Jason Young, 306 Lincoln, reached out to you, sir.
Yep.
Interested in purchasing some of the 7 acres behind 306. Main reason is erosion. Her yard is just eroding into that piece of property. We talked about possibly putting up a structure, a garage. I think in order to do that, I need to extend the yard a little bit. I have just kind of some rough sketches here. It would be approximately 60 foot width of the property line, 60 foot back. Would be option one. Option two, I forget the name of my neighbor here, Daniel Smith, off of her property line, 60 foot. So it'd be 129 foot, 60 foot deep with both of our properties, or 63 foot deep, wide, sorry, 60 foot deep. This all was just kind of a discussion over a dinner table about, you know, then I reached out to you just to see what the options even were. And then we would kind of go from there, like what kind of culvert would have to be put in before I, you know, obviously pushed clean fill. Lots of questions, and I'm sure you guys have questions too. No ATV parks.
Jason, some of the issue there of where your water's coming from is when and it's not the gentleman that owns the property now, but where Grant would go in.
Okay.
They came in and clear cut that about
Is that the corner?
10, 15 years ago, straight across.
Okay,
They came in and clear cut that. Well, the water greatly increased that came down behind your guys' house
Gotcha.
into the waterway.
Van
that goes-
Stoik's too. Yep.
So may almost be worth contacting that property owner as well to find out if there's ever potential of development there. Because if they change elevation of grade and all of that, I'm not telling you that the water's not gonna come back on you the other way.
Yeah.
Who's the owner of that? That's he's a
Starts with an S. Last name starts with an S.
He's a concrete guy too. The property at where Grant would extend on back in.
The 144 lots that.
I have it right here.
Yes,
Matthew Sentes?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, he bought like 22.
He did.
Right.
He's got a bunch of that back there.
Okay, so contact him maybe.
To find out if there's any potential of building there, because if they do any grade work or anything and change the watershed, any plans that you have may really get disrupted if water plans change. I mean, it's,
yeah, it's just the beginning of it. I'll reach out to them and I'll get back with you or somebody.
Okay.
We can go further.
I think I've got his number here.
Matt.
Paper names, I got.
We're all looking at it.
Look ahead of them. I don't have it, so. I had it at one time.
I don't have it.
That's all right, I can get it. I can get it. That's all I have.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. What else, Ron?
Nothing under planning, I guess new business is next, but yeah. Right?
No, this is committee.
Oh, okay, all right, the Rec Association lease.
Rec Association or Spook Holiday?
Rec Association, I wanna get that out of the way.
Okay.
There's only one issue left, it was the hourly rate for the city. It's 38.26, we didn't know how to do that, make it inflation, you know. So I come up with this full-time street employee wage plus $20 for overhead. That way the wages go up every year. And $20 fee, that's for overhead. You can
38, whatever, was
38,
26.
was established off of MFT rates on the equipment and the hourly cost of an employee, which would have included benefits and whatever else.
Yep.
How the original rate was established.
Okay, I don't know how to do the MFT thing you're talking about.
Right here.
It changes annually anyhow,
Yeah.
so.
So you have an MFT rate, is that what you're saying?
We should have an MFT schedule for
Right here.
mowers, for equipment.
Okay. So
Depends on what,
MFT.
The piece of equipment that's used.
right now for the 27 inch, it's, are you ready?
Yeah,
$12.22 an hour.
okay.
For the 96, it's $16.30.
What was the other one?
Say, using the MFT rates.
What was the other
For
one?
equipment.
The
Plus
96,
No, the other one, before that.
Hour
72.
street wage.
compensation cost.
I think he said 20.
It's not just hours,
12,
their
22.
payroll. It's,
Okay.
it's, you know, I mean, it was
Got you.
benefits package, everything.
Okay.
I think he said 27.
Yeah.
No. Because it actually costs us $50, whatever that number is, per hour to have an employee.
So-
Did you say competition, what?
The compensation package,
Package.
so that would be their hourly rate,
Right.
their unemployment cost, their
Insurance.
benefit package,
Got it,
their
gotcha.
life insurance.
So the street compensation package plus the MFT rate. Okay. All right, I'll put that in there. And that's good. Chris is coming next meeting.
Okay.
Inform him of the change and go from there. I
Okay.
think it's done, pretty well done.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Ron.
Yep. All right, next, what are we doing next? Oh, the, men's, lease, men's school lease. I passed out a copy of where they want to put the containers. That's the latest, greatest.
When you said 10, but what size?
You'll have to ask them.
It doesn't say in the email, it says
No,
10.
I know.
Right. They're gonna have to be 20 footers because you can't get a 10 footer without costing an arm and a leg because they gotta be custom made.
So 8 foot wide by 20 foot long by 8 foot tall.
Tall.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
6, 7, 8.
roughly.
We got 9 of them? 10. 10
They
of
asked
them.
for 10 in the email.
There's 10 there. There's two along the building there, in the back.
Oh, I couldn't see the mark.
Okay. 2 in the back. Starting left, I think it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 in a row, from left to right, and then 3 in the back.
Oh.
And that's just kind of
Yeah,
ballpark for what
yeah.
we can get off of the map.
So the question is, do we want to allow that or what?
What's that property zoned as? Is it commercial, industrial, residential?
I don't think it's owned.
Do we have an ordinance allowing for shipping containers?
We don't have an ordinance against temporary, so we would have to, in the lease,
Put it on
put an amendment to disregard the ordinance that allows temporary storage structures. Because that's in the same ordinance that deals with carports, temporary structures.
Wouldn't that be more of a zoning board variance than? Because if a resident came up here and wanted a shipping container, they'd have to get a variance. Right.
I don't know how that process works. That would be something for the attorney. I really don't know how that process would work.
Because
Because you're violating the ordinance, so you have to give a provision to be able to violate the ordinance somehow.
And then being on
it should
city-owned
be
property.
amend the ordinance.
Then that opens it for everybody.
Right.
Everybody just doesn't have the benefit of a lease to have the variance in there.
I got a question for Josh, cause
And if it's gonna be temporary,
It's a temporary structure. It's-
temporary structures, does that mean that at a given time frame they have to be relocated or
No,
anything?
no.
They just
Okay.
can't be
It's not
secured by
a
foundation.
permanent structure. There's no foundation under it, so it's classified as a temporary structure.
it can be moved at any time.
And I've seen some ordinances that only allow them to be positioned where
For
they're
certain
at
times.
for a short period of time, because they're temporary.
And I think that's what ours allows.
Specific
is
ordinance.
I think ours allows a
That'd be how you
month,
would write your ordinance if you wanted to say that.
but I think ours allows a month for the moving type company type.
Like the dumpsters can't be anywhere for more than 60 days.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily storage, so that's garbage.
So that'd be a question for Josh, whether we have to do it through the variance process or if it can be amended in the, or if we can do a provision in the lease that allows, I don't know, I can't.
You can do it either way. You can, ask for a variance, or you can put it in the lease that you are allowing this variance to take place. You can do either way you want to.
Cause the final approval for a variance would come to this council anyway.
Yes.
For the sake of transparency, the goal is to keep the place clean looking, right? Put everything away, everything in its place for everything. It's not to put 500 shipping containers throughout the woods and, trash the place. The goal is always to return it to the public at the end of the season. So.
Will there be fences around these shipping containers to prevent people from climbing them?
No different than them climbing a tree.
Yeah, but who's liable if they climb your shipping container and fall off of it?
If it's on leased property, it'd be the leasees. Mhm.
Just a thought.
Yeah, I know.
And
Yeah,
I mean,
especially,
That's who would be
Like
liable
it may not
for
be
it.
posted with the leases.
especially kids climbing up on the
There's
dugout.
nothing posted back there.
No, everything's posted by the climate change department.
Okay,
Okay, the bigger issue is, Article 3.2. Proposal was a lease payment or a percent of revenue. Or keep it the same.
Where we at, Ron?
What's that?
Where we at?
3.2. Compensation for leases.
what's your thoughts, Ron?
I prefer the lease payment. We know every year what that's gonna be, so when we budget, we have a set amount. And probably in lieu of donations. Donations, you don't know how to budget that. You don't know what we're gonna get for the year. So if we had a lease, we'd know how to budget.
And which,
Well, I seen in the email they sent, they were making a lot of comparisons with the Rec Association, which is also a 501c3 that has a lease agreement, or we're working on a lease agreement with the city.
Right.
However, and they're like, well, we're both 501c3. I get that, you both have the same tax qualifications, but you're not both providing the same product. One of you is selling a service, and the other is providing service to the kids. It's not a for sale product that's being sold. So I think some of their comparison here of why it's not apples to apples in this email that we received, it was forwarded to us. I don't think that applies. I struggle with this because they are a nonprofit organization and they do donate a lot.
Yes, sir, yeah, no doubt.
But I also, they're asking for another 5.5 acres of ground.
Well, it's a fixed amount, but
I don't know what it costs per acre.
On leased ground. The farm ground's doing like 800.
800?
Cash rent.
This is 5 acres?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're talking farmable ground, right?
Almost 6.
Yes.
Not
And,
10.
and we're talking through this. It's not an open
Don't get
negotiation.
excited.
That's 800 an acre.
Right, so 800 an acre.
But that's what farm ground.
Yeah. 6 acres.
Yeah.
It's about 4,800.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of leases that are around that lease out the building and the property and do a variable because their business changes variables the same as what the men's club does. So you could have a percentage in that of profits or revenue off of that property and be more realistic, I think, on if they've had a good year, if they had a bad year. But it's gonna take more
Well,
paperwork.
and my original suggestion was 45% of revenue either is donated out or the difference was paid in a lease payment.
Yeah.
Because it's still, they're still a civic organization that's giving back to the community. So that was why I made the suggestion that direction, which the fireworks would qualify as part of the donation. All of their community donations to the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, everything they donate to. And when they show their books at the end of the year, and they show that we donated out 45% of this year's intake, or we donated out 40%, we owe you 5% as a lease payment. That was my suggestion.
Oh, I got you.
now, just, is that net or gross?
What do you mean?
After,
Not after operating off of intake.
So gross revenue.
Yeah.
That was my suggestion. I don't know that it got portrayed.
No,
That-
That way.
no, I thought it was separate lease payment or.
Yeah.
But that,
And where did you get the 45% from?
20 years ago, 15 years ago, when I was treasurer of the men's club, that was approximately what the donation was.
what the plan was.
50% was getting donated to,
The community?
brought in about 100 and 50%, 50 grand was getting, approximately 50 grand was getting donated out.
To the community or just the city? The
No,
community?
no.
Getting donated out.
Okay.
Not
I just
necessarily
wanted
to.
to make sure.
It wasn't just in our community. It was to whatever.
Not just the city.
Right.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Everybody, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Adventure Club, the,
everybody was.
yeah.
What's your thoughts, Lisa?
I don't really know enough about it, but I like his idea. I don't know that 45%. I have no idea what they bring in.
Okay,
Okay, if I understand it, so if they give out 45 or
Yeah.
46%.
Whatever the number
That's
is.
their lease payment?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that sounds good to me, because they always give out more than that anyway.
Well, last year's revenues was only 29%,
Oh, really?
28.6,
28.6.
Oh,
less operating costs. Yeah. Net profit minus, net income minus operating costs was 28.6, which is 100% of our profit. None of us are making a single dollar off this. That being said, I've been there 26 years. I've been an officer for 11. I've been vice president for 9. Anything above 40% would destroy this club. And the first place we would take away from, just coming from my own personal opinions, police and fire, they're our 2 biggest donations. Those are the first 2 that have to go. All the little $500 donations would be nothing. Take away 15,000 to 20,000. The schools, the scholarships, the big ones. That's
No, as long as you donate it,
That's
it doesn't make any
crippling.
difference where it goes.
Yeah, it does. It's crippling if it's that high. I give exactly.
So,
what you want.
so the rebuttal that we got in the email was $1.
I don't think that's realistic, let's be
But,
honest.
but that was the rebuttal I got in the email.
That's what it is now.
No, but that was
What
the,
is
re-
that?
but
That
that
was
was
what
the
they wanted
rebuttal,
right
there
here.
was
That's right there.
no proposal from your guys' side other than $1.
Right.
And we do still donate, I don't know if I should approach or not, but it's, in the last 10 years, we donated $770,000. That's where we're at,
To the community?
community.
Okay.
Yeah, I should say community and surrounding areas, because there's one donation that gets made over in Pekin. It's Tazewell County EMA, which services Marquette Heights, because I'm their drone pilot. Yeah, so $770,000 was the last 10 years. And my fear as a long-standing member of this club is that if it hurts financially, the majority of the club do not live in Marquette Heights. It takes a lot of the passion out, a lot of the impact, a lot of the want, a lot of the need. Half of the officers in the club aren't even Marquette Heights residents. I've never lived here. So that's, I don't know, to me it's a slap in the face of try to give back as much as you can and then go, this is what you owe us. It's hard to donate when someone says, give me. I've never donated to the city of Pekin because I pay property taxes there. I'll be damned if I donate to Comcast. Right, Comcast is the agenda. But that's my 2 cents on it. I know the majority of the club are very passionate about giving back to this community. I love being up here. The fireworks is one of the biggest highlights for me. Stuff we do around Christmas is the only reason I do this. I've been out only give gifts to the kids and whatnot. That's what it's all about, making the kids have a better life than what we had. So, my suggestion.
Well, can the club come back with a reasonable response?
I think a dollar amount is very realistic, but I don't know what number to pick.
Collectively, could you guys discuss that from your side and see, I mean, it's, because then you can budget it.
Sure. That's my biggest one. The percentage thing is, to me, a terrible idea. Go back to COVID, we made $200 and stuff on Facebook post. You know, cool, you want 40% of $200, here's 100. Bye. You know, we donated to the city like $20,000 that year because of responsible financial decisions that I changed. I still pat myself on the back for that. In 2015, we stopped operating in the red. It was always, we'll pay you after the haunt. We don't do that anymore. We have money, we have a proverbial safety fund of what if I can't open this year? We can easily not open for 2 years and be fine and still donate back. That was the goal. We're finally there. But if we're doing 49% of net profit, you're looking at $200,000. Spook Hollow doesn't open and we're out of town. That's terrible. And to have that happen completely out of our hands would be devastating to the community and every charity we give to.
Then can you guys come back with a realistic, reasonable, that you feel's a response?
I think we could. We're like, it's on an annual budget line item, right?
Essentially, yeah.
That's fair. We budget donations to the city.
Again, where'd that 45% come from again?
And that was from years
20
past.
years ago, we were doing it. Now, I will say, we were also getting smoke blown up our butts.
Well, but we were. It's, and a lot of us that got on the club and were members then, that was the only reason why we were there, because everything we did, half of it was going out in donations. That was why we were doing it.
We operated.
It's not written in
so
the
much
bylaws,
debt.
it's just something you did.
It's just, that's the way, that was the culture of the club then.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
It was-
Well, and now, like, the haunt's expensive, first off. The haunt's very expensive. And I've always said, it's never a matter of how much money we make, it's how much money we don't spend. And that's been a personal goal of mine, that's just the way I work. You know, it's, oh, we can do this, it's only $5,000. Or we can go do it ourselves. You know, a Boy Scout approaches and wants to build a dog park. All I need is money and hands. Cool, we'll give you half the money, we'll help you with it, go raise the rest of it. You know,
Incentive.
we have a really nice dog park here in town, I still love that thing, cause I helped build it. You know, I don't have a dog, but, that's my 2 cents. Yeah, I think we could sit down and go, this is what we budget to the city, or some dollar amount, something like that, and come back with some kind of proposal. Knowing that it's $1 a year now, it's great, but I get where you're coming from at the same time.
Cause you're also,
Percentage thing is bad.
cause that was essentially, the $1 a year was essentially for the building that you paid to put up.
Right,
Now you're asking for another 5.5 acres.
right.
That's essentially park ground.
Right.
That you will have.
5.5 acres that we've used for the last 40 years.
No, I understand that, but you want full-time rights to it year round.
I guess I'm still a little confused. How is it that for the last umpteen years, at least 20, $1 a year has been realistic, and now all of a sudden it's not realistic? It's almost like, well, you make more money now, so now we want more money. I don't understand why. My understanding was that the dollar amount was more of a good faith effort between the Marquette Heights Friends Club and the city of Marquette Heights.
The dollar amount was
We
a
have to-
legal
Please let me
obligation for a
finish,
lease.
Mr. Freeman. Please let me finish. The fact that it was a amount that, well, we've gotta charge you something, okay, well, we'll charge you $1. It's not a matter of whether we're asking for more space. Now it seems, to me, it seems like you're saying, well, you're making more money, we want a bigger cut. I don't disagree that we get off cheap on this, but I also think that the amount of money and the amount of time that gets put in by this club far exceeds what you're asking.
But you're also asking for more ground with larger time frame. Many times that the club has came back to the city saying, we need more time, we need it out another month earlier so we can start setting up sooner. We need another month later to clean up because we're still not getting everything out of the ground. Now you want it 12 months a year.
Is that what the condition of the proposal?
Yes.
I missed that.
That was what was, that was,
I skimmed it before I came, that's all I'm asking.
that was what was presented to us, was access to the ground 12 months a year. So you guys can take care of and do what you want when you want.
Yeah, that was in paragraph 3.4.
That being said, regarding the dollar amount, speaking on behalf of the club, our next meeting is in July, after the 4th. So, let's get together, discuss, and return back to the season. We've got time, now is the time to talk about it.
My proposal would be you guys have a committee together that works on it from your side too, and possibly get with the planning commission, or the planning committee.
We sort of have one, but yeah.
And work through the nuts and bolts of it, because it doesn't even seem as though you guys know what all you asked for.
I won't get into that. I do, a lot of us do, not all of us.
But
That's the whole 10% do 90% work, but yeah. You get that.
Okay. More to come.
More to come.
What else, Ron?
Well, let's keep on going here. 3.4, access for 12 months. That's what they asked for. And be done before December 1st for cleanup.
For the record, I see access for 12 months now.
What's that?
Questions on that?
I see 12 months.
Lisa?
Like I said, I don't know anything how that works, or, you know, I have no problem with them accessing it for 12 months unless somebody else has a better point.
Dave?
The 12-month access is fine. I agree with it.
Tom?
Are we talking just the property that they would be leasing? Or the
We're talking
entire,
the whole thing.
or, well, it says Independence
Well,
Park.
it's gonna change that to,
Leased property.
what was it, what do they call it?
Okay, lease
Full collar,
property.
full collar area.
Well, I think it'd need to be
Leased
called
property.
leased property.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's,
because otherwise it's gonna interfere with
right,
ball diamonds and all that other kind of thing.
right.
Even the pavilion, I mean, so,
So if they, is that exclusive access? Nobody can walk on it, or it's just for the men's club, or what?
I don't think that's the intent.
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue. I mean, people are still hiking in
Okay, I
there. We just, like I said, we just wanna clean it up.
yeah, I just don't wanna see no trespassing signs put up.
No, that's
Okay.
not.
I think as far as a safety issue, there needs to be some kind of a time constraint. Park's closed at 11 now. With some of the stuff you guys are needing to do back there, the type of work you're gonna be doing late at night. I know sometimes setting up and stuff like that, guys are back there getting things set up and going, but there needs to be some kind of a time frame that all needs to stop as far as a safety issue.
Like start to construction at 1 in the morning.
Definitely no,
Yeah.
definitely no.
I'm trying to think of something to trigger.
Well, yeah, I mean, just back there working in the woods, after 10 o'clock, it's dark, you know?
For the most part, right.
I know you're gonna have, probably have generators or power cord, or extension cord run out there, you're talking about running power and air and stuff like that. So, but to be out there that late at night, I see wanting it 12 months out of the year, you wanna go back there to work when you can, but to me, there's no reason to be back there at 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Still needs to follow our
Still
current
need to follow
ordinances
some guidelines in the time. I understand when
Plus,
your
if we
event
could
starts getting
access
ready to
more
go,
time.
you would be able to access it more
Right.
months and time frame out of the year
Right.
during a normal, say, a normal lifespan, or
Right.
life activity kind of thing.
Forgive my own ignorance. What time does the park close?
11,
Is 11?
yeah, I just said that.
Make sure. We're on weekends.
Same.
So 11.
See, yeah.
I mean, I've been trying to work on a project up there for weeks, but it rains every Sunday.
There's times they won't run the building.
Ron, the
All
other
lights
thing.
on.
I,
But I think
when you guys are
what
getting
you're saying
things set up to
about
go,
that
I'm talking you're out and, you're back in there, cause then you'll run
We
into
generally
people
back out
that
there.
wanna come up there and just sit and talk, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, the park closing, well, those people back there working, or they're back there doing stuff.
Fair, yeah.
They're building, but hey, we get it.
Good.
Yeah.
So what are we agreeing on? Time or no time?
I think I'd be, close it down.
I would
By
just
11
recommend that you
11
do some
PM?
time frame.
Other than,
The only catch with documenting the time is during the season when we're open.
Some of those things are understandable, but you're getting things up and running, and of course,
Well, I mean-
the event itself is going.
No,
The event itself is going, that, right there in and of itself.
That
is-
operates under a special permit,
Okay.
Right,
so
yeah.
that's under a special use permit that has times associated with it, so.
And I think we do have a policy and procedure that's not hard.
Right,
On our-
that's what I'm saying.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, Justin, you're up.
Under 3.4, you also need to include the license for use of Independence Park that actually needs to be reworded to the 5.5 acres or whatever of leased ground, but it also needs to include the block building at 1 million, because that's not included in here anywhere. And they have year-round exclusive rights to that building now.
It should be in there
so-
somewhere.
No, it's included, but not for the 12-month period. It needs to be
Right.
included in that section
So
of
that'll be
3.4.
3.6B?
where does it say about that?
The pavilion storage area.
That would be in 3.1.
But there's nothing that gives you rights to that for 12 months a year. That's
Right.
what I'm saying. If we're
Right.
expanding that.
Right, it needs to, that's what I'm saying, because it has the storage building. Pavilion storage.
Okay, I'll add 12 months to that paragraph.
Okay.
Because they're the one that uses it now, so that needs to be included, that they have exclusive rights to that.
Right.
the storage portion of that, not the pavilion, but the storage portion of
Right.
stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
What else, Ron?
No, anything else?
How about storage?
Insurance.
Insurance.
So I don't know where it's at in here, I haven't found it, but they would then be required to probably cover insurance on the building, that would have to also cover.
3.8.
They would also have to cover the leased ground now. So that would need amended as well.
Okay. 3.8 probably going up in there somewhere.
3.8, need to say, any lease property.
Lease ground, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Anything else?
How about like something for housekeeping to have it,
Yeah, good.
have things cleaned up and
Right there.
what?
It'll be done before December 1st.
Yeah.
3.4.
3.4?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And any penalties or anything if it's not cleaned up and have
Oh.
pallets and things that are laying around?
Where's that last paragraph? What does the last paragraph say?
Sanitary conditions.
Breach, there you go.
And that's the,
Where you at?
4.1.
well, that's a breach of
No,
contract.
That's breach contract.
That's a
We don't-
breach of contract.
Right. So if you don't clean it up by December 1st, it's a breach of contract.
Okay.
Okay.
My comments on December 1st. It snows in November sometimes and it definitely takes longer than a month.
You're gonna have to speak up a
It,
little bit.
it snows in November sometimes, and
Right.
it definitely takes longer than 4 weeks to get out of there sometimes.
So what would,
I don't know what a realistic date would be. I don't know if you say January 1.
no,
You know,
No.
we're always done before Christmas.
Because after in November, you can expect snow and ice and so forth.
It gets worse.
And that stuff's not gonna move.
Yeah.
And we've seen that situation year after year.
Yeah.
And so it needs to be as close to October, the end of October as we can get.
If you get storage units, it should be easier.
Should be a lot faster.
Should be easier.
Right.
Should be easier.
Yes,
Right.
that's a lot easier.
Right.
A lot faster.
Right.
If not, then knock on some heads.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's a realistic goal, it's just a challenging one. that's
Yeah,
all.
well, plus or minus a day or two, you know, that kind of.
Right.
All right, I'll redo this and we can,
And they can rebut from
yep,
your side of,
Right.
I'll send you a copy of it. We'll go from there.
what else you got, Ron?
That's enough for me.
That's enough for you?
I think so.
last meeting I brought up the IML stuff. Mediation, communication thing, I don't know if this would be planning or not. And last time we addressed this was approximately 2 years ago, the office.
It was last year.
Was it last year? Was it a year ago? Okay.
I believe it was in April.
The office and Alderman Newhouse were working through that. What's the game plan on that? How, you guys wanna take care of it from your in the
Yeah,
office?
currently we're looking into it today.
Okay.
Brought back,
I'm just looking at
yeah,
logistics of it
when,
on how.
when it does have to be obviously voted, and it has to be unanimous vote on everyone to get that.
For the IML.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we also need to know what topics,
Well, and that's kind of what I'm asking.
what topics we want to address with the people that we bring in. And that way they can turn around and find the proper people to help us. Because what they'll do is bring in another alderman or a mayor or somebody from another community to help us. what happens.
So, I would, sorry.
I was just following up on logistics of it.
Right, my suggestion would be to, everybody to email the office with suggestions of topics, and he could do the research on that. Is that good, Tim?
Yeah.
Everybody, we need to relay that to Heather since she's in her absence. Okay, everybody
Yep.
good with that?
Yep.
Is that good? Is that okay, Justin?
I just wanna make sure we're.
No,
getting moving on
absolutely.
stuff.
Anything else for planning?
I just put in your box about the, HB 3144 state grocery tax. It's gonna go away, but they're gonna let us do our own.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
So that's not till 26 though, so we got a year.
Got a little
longer.
bit.
Anyway,
Okay.
so clear that issue.
Ryan, you have a couple things, go ahead.
I got two, and then I'll shut up when we get out of here.
I mean,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So, one of them is, the men's club's in receipt of a class 4 laser. We can put cool things on stuff. Not engraving, it's just a light show. It's a fancy flashlight, for lack of a better way to word it. I applied for and was accepted for a certification from the FDA to operate that laser on behalf of the men's club. I would like to use that laser to light up the water tower during the fireworks. I think it'd be kind of cool to have like a little firework going up and, you know, stick a pumpkin on it or something, you know, whatever. Keep it tasteful. There is zero risk. There is an emergency stop if someone decides to go up there and retch on it or something stupid. And I'll be standing right next to it when that happens, if that were to happen. So.
And prior to Maria's departure, she called and checked with the Illinois Water
That's an airport.
and our insurance and made sure there was no issues with
Okay.
the guys.
I'm not engraving the water tower.
To make sure that there was no guidelines or no special thing that had to be done, and she said there is nothing.
Yeah. Apparently somebody saw while I was testing it the other day. So.
Are there any issues with the flight pattern?
No.
No.
No. Because I'm gonna short throw from the gazebo where we sell the glow products straight to the water tower.
Okay.
So unless a plane flies below 100 feet between me and the water tower.
But I just know that this, I know that we're on a flight pattern, so it's just.
If that happens, we're all in trouble.
Yeah, which is why, you stop. Yeah, which is why, again, as a drone pilot, it's one of those things that I'm super cognizant of, so, if
It
a
really
plane
shouldn't
does
be a
decide to
big
get a little near,
distraction.
I can shut it off in a heartbeat. It's an on-off
Does
switch.
anybody have an issue?
No.
Ron?
No.
Justin? Lisa?
No.
I think it's gonna be a cool addition to fireworks. And when I tested it the other day, there were random cars just stopping. It was amazing how fast the traffic slowed down. Cause everybody's doing that. So yeah, it's kinda cool.
It might be a nice thing, last year, we had a boy get separated from his parents.
I could put an
And that would
oh
be.
my God message up there real
That could
fast.
be looking for the parents.
That's a
and
good
stuff.
point.
Lost parent.
And I can absolutely do
Yeah,
that.
lost parent.
Because we were
Yeah.
just literally
Lost parent.
just
bringing the
walking
kid.
around looking, had the kid walk around looking for parents.
And it happens every year.
I was in front
So
of it.
something like that, yeah.
No.
Chief, I have to give you a hard time officially. Traffic leaving for fireworks was the #1 thing on my list to talk about tonight. So, thank you. Yeah, so I'm gonna.
What
scratch
else,
that
Ryan?
off. The men's club owns 2 80-gallon air compressors inside the water tower today. We discussed it last night in our club meeting. We would like to donate one of those to the city. Hey, here's an air compressor on one condition, and it's to help us move the second one out and put it in the building. Don't care when, doesn't have to happen today, doesn't have to happen tomorrow. Sometime
Wait.
before October would be nice.
What's your thoughts, Tim? I see you looking at me.
These things are about $900.
Yeah, I know.
We'll sell it to you if you want.
I serviced them. I know where they.
Oh, you know exactly what I'm talking about then.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on that, Tim?
If it's all right with the rest of the council, yeah.
Literally.
Save the city from having to purchase one.
Yeah.
You were gonna buy something, a pump, weren't you, this year? Same kind of pump?
Yeah.
Air compressor.
Yeah.
Air compressor.
So you take the old one out, put it in there?
Yeah.
Great.
We'll take this old one and put it down at the water plant,
There you go.
cause all we got is that small one.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah. Sure you don't want to buy it? No, I'm kidding.
Too late.
Kidding, yeah.
So, coordinate to get that done. With, no rush, just whenever,
Okay?
whenever you have time.
Yeah, we all have tons of free time, right?
Huh?
We all have tons of free time, right?
Yeah, all kinds of.
So-
What end of the building do you want that in?
Where all the other air compressors are, there's two more inside the.
On the hallway?
So on the back side of the building.
Backside, middle
Back
of
of
the
the
building.
hallway?
Yeah. There's a door right there next to it.
Just so they know where.
I know where they're talking about.
Which is, the other ulterior motive there is, sick and tired of having to try to get inside the water tower, who has a key? None of us do. You know, it's way easier if we just get to it, so.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Last one I got is, me and Mike actually basically run the Men's Club Facebook. If anyone has any questions, any concerns about anything the club does, please reach out. I try to respond as early as I can. He works third shift and I'm always on the internet, so try to respond. But I just hear a lot of backroom chatter and a lot of, well, the club's doing, no, we're not. If it sounds shady, we're not doing it. I got better plans, I got better things to do at the time. But I just encourage anybody who has any questions or concerns, reach out. So,
Appreciate that.
that's all I got.
Okay.
Go team.
Any other business pertaining to the city? Oh, yes, Tim.
Is it okay if I get bids to wash the tower?
When's that cycle?
20.
Which, every 5 years, one of them should be getting done, I think.
No, we have it on a schedule.
I think, the cleaning is every 5,
Is it this year or next,
inspection.
is it
I
this
think
year or
it's
next year?
25.
Because we ran short on the cycle and washed both of them at the same time the last time, and they were supposed to be separate.
We have paperwork showing what
Yeah,
the cycle
so
is.
if you wanna,
Because it's getting pretty.
I know,
It's down at the water plant, I do
but
believe.
we budget that on a cycle, I'm trying to remember the company that did it.
I'll find
You'll
out.
think of it when you're not thinking
Yeah,
of
I
it.
know, but they are cycled, and we did have them separated, but the last time they came in, they both got done at the same time, and now they're,
But I believe it's due 2025.
I thought it was on a 5 as well.
I thought it was leaning towards,
Cause I know the inspection inside is supposed to be done every so often,
right,
and the inspection will let you know if it needs
Those
to be
those
cleaned.
sheets should be down at the water plant too.
Okay.
Because I remember we had this discussion, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago
Mhm.
on it.
And we cut the cycle short on one of them,
Right.
so essentially.
So we can get
washed
back
one.
on track.
Cause they
No.
had a repair or something on
They
it.
both got done at the same time, and the other one didn't need done for a couple more years, so
They were
we,
doing some big repair, I thought.
I
to
think
it.
so.
It was downtime.
So, yeah.
well, we painted the inside and on both of them,
no, we did inspection.
inspections.
So,
Okay. I'll try to find it.
yes, sir. Do you have something?
Yeah, I just, in years past, we've been able to, cut tree branches and stuff as far as with the trails. We have some right now that are growing up above the where the dumpster is, and people park there and it scrapes their cars. I just wanna make sure that we are clear to be able to trim those back. If there's not any issue with us trimming those back.
You're talking going back to the building on the right-hand side where
Correct.
the dumpster sits?
Yeah, right where the dumpster sits, a lot of people park right by there, and we've got some overhanging branches that we'd like to trim back so they're not scratching their cars.
Okay.
And I just wanna make sure.
We've had some issues with trimming being done. We'll probably have to clear that through the insurance company.
Okay. I just know in years past, we've always been.
No, I know, but recently we've had issues. Recently, we've had issues that got the insurance company involved, so
Okay.
we'll have to figure out how that can be cleared through the insurance company.
Is that part of the lease?
What's that?
property? Is that part of the lease property then?
That's not part of the lease property right now.
No.
No, I'm just asking.
Okay. Any other business pertaining to the city? entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Deputy Clerk?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Sit here.
Motion carried.
Motion carried.